Hello, thank you very much. I'm very happy to participate in this multiplayer event of LTA project. My name is Joan Bestart. I am from ACPA, ACPA, and I am a 28-year-old man. I have brown hair, beard, and green eyes. I will organize this presentation in two parts. First, I will explain what ACPA, what my association is. Second, I will talk about some issues, about some difficulties that have arisen during the pandemic related to people with hearing loss and subtitling. The Catalan Association for the Promotion of Accessibility, ACPA, is a recently created non-profit organization. It was created in December 2019. ACPA aims to foster accessibility and to raise awareness, to promote social participation of all people, especially persons with any disability. ACPA activity is divided in three lines that I will explain. First line, users' rights advocacy. Second line, fostering visibility and acknowledgement of professionals. And third line, knowledge transfer and research dissemination with a focus on Catalan universities. As an example of our task, we publish a quarterly bulletin to disseminate current research projects and interesting readings, as I said before, mainly focused on Catalan universities. In addition, another task has been, we have gathered insight from accessibility users who have found barriers during this last month, during this period of pandemic, and it's been very interesting to know which problems have arisen during this last month. Today I'm going to talk about this information we've gathered, especially information related to subtitling and video calls. There are several ways to make audiovisual content and live events accessible for people with hearing loss: subtitling, sign language interpretation, hearing loop, lip reading. During the pandemic, the use of video call platforms has increased a lot, and most importantly, it has diversified. In general, many people were used to using video call platforms for informal contexts or family meetings, but during this last month it has increased the use of video call platforms for professional meetings, educational contexts, and well, as we all know, many platforms provide automatic subtitling, and automatic subtitling is far from being perfect, and some pieces of information may get lost on the way. For instance, a typical problem faced by automatic subtitling softwares is recognition of proper nouns, of specialized terminology, and these kind of words are very important in the educational context, in professional meetings, as I said before. On the other hand, live subtitling produced by a subtitler is the best solution to provide high quality captions. In any case, we have to remember that there are some problems, some not new problems, involved in this kind of subtitling. In the context of live subtitling, speech rate is very important to make the work of the subtitler easier. In addition, if several people speak at the same time, if several people overlap, it is very hard to transcribe for the subtitler. There is, in addition, another big advantage, which is that Automatic subtitles are only used in some languages, are only available in some languages. Live subtitling depends on the language skills, on the languages known by the subtitler. Apart from video call platforms, we have to keep in mind that to hold a physical live event, there are some requirements that may add some difficulties to the live event that we want to organize. If we need a venue to organize an event, we need that the venue has some requirements regarding technology to produce the live subtitles. I would like to talk about sign language as well. I will talk about sign language users and sign language interpretation during the pandemic. I will talk about some examples we have gathered, and first of all, relates to sign language users. I would like to talk about video call platforms, as we were saying before. Video call platforms for sign language users are not new. They are used to use this kind of tools, but we have to consider some problems that may come out. For example, when a group of sign language users are talking in the same room of the platform, there is the mosaic view, and when many people appear in the screen, the sub-screens are smaller, and it is harder to identify the signs they are doing, and well, the comprehension is worse. Still regarding video calls and sign language users, we have to highlight that the internet connection of the call is very important. For example, though it is very important for all the people, in the case of sign language users, if the screen freezes, the communication is not possible, or if we don't have a minimum amount of frames per second in the video, the quality of the communication is not as good as necessary. Regarding sign language interpretation, during the last month, we have had press conferences related to health. We have had breaking news constantly, and sign language interpretation was needed, and it was not always provided. If it has been provided, it was not always provided in the best way. Sometimes we can put as an example, the screen of the sign language interpreter was smaller than needed. Another example that we may consider that is funny, if it was not a huge problem for the understanding, is that the TV channel logo was overlapping the sign language interpreter screen, which makes absolutely impossible to understand the interpretation. It is an evident problem. To finish, I would like to talk about lip reading and a huge problem that is wearing masks, as we all may know. Wearing masks has meant a great barrier for people who read lips. There are also masks which are transparent, but I would like to say that this kind of masks, or well, not all of them, are validated in terms of health and security, so we have to keep that in mind. Also, some persons who read lips have reported that they have found some problems reading lips when the person who speaks wears transparent masks. because the plastic mask may produce some flashes of light. Thank you very much for your attention. If you want to know more about ACPA, you can visit our webpage acpaccess.cat, acpacces.cat. Thank you very much.
LTA Live Text Access, Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, SDI, Internationale Hochschule, Scuola Superiore per Mediatori Linguistici, ZDF Digital, European Federation of Hard of Hearing People FHO, Velotype, Subti Access, European Certification and Qualification Association ECQA. Co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. Erasmus Plus project 2018-1-DE01-KA203-004218. The information and views set on this presentation are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official opinion of the European Union. Neither the European Union institutions and bodies, nor any person acting on their behalf, may be held responsible for the use which may be made of the information contained here.